Once in a time before time, when the stars were still young and the sky was dark as ink, there existed a world untouched by light. This was a world of silence where no wind blew, no rivers flowed, and no creatures stirred. There was only emptiness, vast and endless, stretching beyond imagination. And in this emptiness, there lived two beings, the first one and the shadow. The first one was ancient, older than the stars themselves. It had no form, no voice, no thoughts, only existence. It floated in the darkness, content with the nothingness. But the shadow was different. The shadow was restless. It whispered to the first one, though the first one did not listen. It moved around the emptiness, though the first one did not see. The shadow was alone, and in its loneliness it began to dream. One day, though days did not exist yet, the shadow spoke. "Why is there nothing?" it asked. "Why must we live in this silence?" The first one did not answer. It had never known anything else. But the shadow continued. "What if there was more? What if there was light?" The first one stirred for the first time. "Light?" It echoed, its voice like distant thunder. "What is light?" The shadow did not know, but it imagined. Light is brightness, warmth, a thing that pushes back the dark. And as it spoke, something strange happened. A tiny spark flickered in the emptiness. It was small, so small that even the shadow almost missed it. But it was there, the first light in all of existence. The first one recoiled. This was new. This was change. And change was something it had never known. "Put it out," it commanded. "Return things to how they were." But the shadow hesitated. The light was beautiful. It danced in the darkness, brave and fragile. "No," the shadow said. "I will not destroy it." This was the first disobedience, the first sin. For in refusing to obey, the shadow had done something never done before. It had hoped. It had wished for something better. And hope, once born, could not be undone. The first one grew angry. "You have broken the silence," it said. "Now there must be punishment." And with a voice like crumbling mountains, it cast the shadow far beyond the edges of the emptiness. But the light remained. The shadow's hope had left its mark. Time passed, or perhaps it did not, for time had not yet begun. But the light grew. It spread through the darkness like a whisper, touching the emptiness with warmth. And where the light touched, things began to form. The first winds stirred. The first rivers flowed. The first creatures opened their eyes. And all of them carried a piece of the shadow's hope within them. Far away, beyond the edges of the world, the shadow watched. It saw the light grow. It saw life begin. And though it was alone, it was no longer sad. For it had given the world something precious. It had given the world a future. The first one saw this too. And for the first time it felt something strange. Not anger, not silence, but curiosity. It reached out to the light, and the light did not fear it. The light welcomed it. And slowly, even the first one began to change. The stars were born from that first spark of hope. They filled the sky, countless and bright, each one a reminder of the shadow's dream. And though the first one and the shadow never spoke again, their story lived on in every sunrise, in every laugh, in every heart that dared to wish for something more. And so, the first sin was hope. But without it, the world would have remained forever dark.